This channel is supported by my online fishing courses, and you can learn more and get significant discounts at saltstrong.com/Skinner. I'll have links to all of the gear in the video description, and if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. All right, gonna test the boat out. Just got it back after dumping $3 grand into it, mostly for steering. Yeah, who knows? And so, gonna go fish some water I've never fished before. I've got to learn this whole boat fishery thing. You know, I've been fishing the kayak the 2 winters I've been down here. I've got about 2 full winters now. But yeah, I haven't had the boat to work with, so at least not much. So, gonna go check out a bass I haven't fished, and I actually got shrimp. And I'll see if I can get some sheep's head there, whatever. I'm just trying to learn today. It would be nice if the boat behaved. That would be great. All right. Yeah, certainly a little different than puttering around at 3.5 miles in the kayak. Okay, arrived at the destination. This is Southwest Florida. I've got this resort over here on the left, and this beautiful stone wall all the way along, and then a cement wall, and then some more stone, and you've got the Gulf of Mexico out there. Going to drop the trolling motor. I have no idea where to fish here. Never been here, but yeah, you know, obviously it's got to work, and everything eats shrimp. So toss shrimp to those rocks, you're going to catch fish. You know, I don't usually get shrimp, but yeah, needed bait. I've got about maybe 10 small mud crabs, so my plan is develop a bite with the sheep's head, hopefully, and then switch to crabs. Hey, you see I'm using small chunks of shrimp. You'll see by the end of this trip, I will be doing that differently. Okay, that's the right species. Okay. And I'm anchored here with the trolling motor using the spot lock feature. So, all right, good, you know, a sheep's head. My plan is if I can catch a couple of those, then I will start using the crabs. But I want to make sure I've got some around before I do that. And my experience is I catch small sheep's head on shrimp, and you put crabs out, and it's like entirely different fish. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, new spot. Not sure what's going to happen here. And depending on how the water's moving, I'm using 1/4 or 3/8 ounce S&S Skinner sheep's head jigs. All right, 2 sheep's head, that's good enough to break out the crabs. I'm not looking to catch these small ones. I want to get some bigger ones. So I'll dig into the crab supply here. I prefer to trim the legs and the claws off. Just I find that otherwise the fish grab onto those and can tear the bait off. But all right, I'm going to send that out and see what happens. And I'll show it a little better in a bit. Just hooking these like in through a leg socket, out through another leg socket. You know, just trying to get a really firm hook up on that, so in case you miss a fish, you know, you don't lose your bait and you get a second shot, third shot. Yeah, so there's some kind of tropical bird sitting on up on the casting platform there. And as I learned, if you turn your back on him, he will grab whatever bait he can find sitting around. All right, I'm making contact with the jig, trying not to apply pressure. I just want to feel it. And I want to feel that jig move before setting the hook. Look at that. First cast with a, or second cast with a crab. I lost the first crab, but whatever this is, a lot bigger than what I was catching. This is going to be, I don't know, it's a heck of a sheep's head if that's a sheep's head. Oh, this has got to be like a small grouper. Wow, it's a big ass sheep's head. Whoa, that's 20 inches, because I've measured a couple of those this year, and that's what that is. And I'll bleed that out in a bucket before putting it on ice. So hey, what a start, huh? I just got there, 2 smalls, go to the crab, catch the big one, and I figure, okay, I'm set. No, hours have gone by. And I was just catching smalls, some small mangrove snappers. So I've moved around the corner, a different part of the jetty, and I'm going to see what happens here. I mean, it is a learning trip. I got to figure out what parts of this are the best, what parts are the tide. So that's what I'm going to do. Alright, so that's encouraging. I just got up to the second spot and I've got a small keeper, so you know what? I add that to the big keeper and I've got a meal, so that's something. But I'm going to stay at it here. I've switched over to crab because I also caught a couple other big shorts. Really trying to get, this is actually my last half of a crab. I managed to waste through the other ones that I had, and I want to make sure this stays on, get that hook exposed a little bit. I'm going to have to make this last crab bait count. No, damn. Oh, I've never had that happen before. And you know what? That fish, I could see it there, was in his mouth. It's not, I mean, he's basically just holding on to it. The hook is inside the sheep's head's mouth. So the dolphin's not hooked. He's just holding on to that fish. So what he's going to do with that, I have no idea. But I can tell you, I bailed out of that spot because I figured, I felt bad about that, and I bailed out. I went to a couple other places, did nothing, moved to a different spot on the jetty, and here we go. Now I'm going to get him. Okay, I have only shrimp left, and I'm putting on, I'm taking off the head, the tail, and then putting the rest of the shrimp on, threading it on in such a way that the hook is not exposed. I'm really taking a little extra effort on hooking this up, and whether it's that or the tide or the spot, whatever it is, boy, the bite's going to be on here. Have other people had dolphin do that? I've had dolphins around me many times. They never grab the fish. So I don't know what was up with that. Is that a common occurrence? I don't see how it could be. All right, with regards to putting the shrimp on for sheep's head, so I've only been on 2 guided trips in my life, and one of them was with some friends. We ended up being a sheep's head trip, and the guide just insisted very small pieces of shrimp, and that's how you hook them. But I keep finding small ones that way, and now I'm getting bigger fish with the bigger pieces of shrimp. What do other people think about that? What's other people's experience with that? This is the first time I'm going to do well using shrimp for sheep's head. Yeah, I greatly prefer crabs, but they're just so hard to get sometimes. Just sitting on it, just like a blackfish. Yep. Well, that's because it was not a sheep's head. All right, that's a small gag grouper. Another good one. Whew. Yeah, so I'm on a bite, and what happens, the wind's blowing here, and it's blown the line. Now I've caught it underneath the spool, and now I'm going to break it. But this is going to be pretty amazing considering how hard it can be to hook sheep's head. Boy, they're this thick that the line got caught in the wind, and you know they're thick when this happens. The line got caught in the wind, and you know what? And it broke the line under the spool, and there's a keeper. All right, that's how it's gonna go. All right, so I'm wading through those little taps, want to feel movement on the jig. Hey, the jig only weighs 1/4 of an ounce, so Decent fish is going to pick that up and move with it. Yeah, I'm getting some smaller keepers and not too many shorts at all here. And really almost no waiting for the hits. Just tossing in. You're going to see that in a second when I rebait here. And pretty much there's fish on it. So it's a great bite, much different than earlier. But again, it's hard for me to say whether that's tide related or whether it's slightly different spot. Boy, I noticed some coloration difference in these fish. Some of them are almost black, so I'm assuming that's coming from the dark background of the jetty. Got weight. Chunky. Thank you. All right, and thanks for watching. And if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. And check out my online courses at saltstrong.com/Skinner.